So I don't set New Year's resolutions. I don't know if you do. And if you do, that's great. I don't. All the data and the statistics behind New Year's resolutions, it's not because of that, really. It's more because I've always looked at it from the perspective of, I'd like to set a focus and a theme for the year. Like, what am I focused on in order for me to get to that next level, for me to be better, me to be greater? Where should I be focused? And, I was pretty good at that. My wife's really, really good at that. She does it in all different areas of her life and really kind of knocks it out. But I want to talk to you about this year's focus. And in order to talk to you about this year's focus, I want to take you back. I want to take you back to the days when I was a sprinter in school. And our coaches used to tell us all the time, run through the line. That was always the mantra. You never ran to the finish line. You ran past the finish line, right? Like, you'll see so many people who are getting to the finish line and they have to duck their head forward to try to get that little extra, which actually takes away a little bit. Yeah, we were always taught to fly through the finish line, okay? Run through the finish line. And in looking at this year, it's one of the things that I realized that I've lost is that run through the finish line. And so, yeah, we get a lot of things done. I do a lot, right? In terms of daily planning, quarterly planning, always knocking things off the list and accomplishing a lot. But I realized that I've gotten to a place where in my nightly planning, my morning planning for the day, and I'm writing out the things that need to get done today, I usually make a list. And subconsciously in my mind, I'm making this list, and it's usually not very long, but making this list, and I know that there are one or two items, about 20% of the list, that I'm not going to get done today. I'm putting this stuff on the list because it's important to do, but I know I'm not going to get about 20% of these items done. And for the last few years, I've been okay with that. I've justified that because we've gotten so much done. And it's in these last couple of weeks of looking at that, I've come to realize that what I was doing to myself is I was also sitting in a moment of I deserve. And so I was making this list and I was saying, well, if I get through this much of the list, then I deserve not to do the rest. It wasn't a capacity issue. It wasn't a capability issue. It was an internal ego issue of, I did this much, I deserve to take a break. I deserve to not do that. I deserve to push that off. And I sat and challenged myself over the last couple of days with this as I've been listening to this book by Cam Haines, Undeniable. I don't know if you've listened to it. If you haven't, you need to read the book. It's a great book. And one of the things that, kind of struck me in listening and reading Undeniable is I am capable of more and I am shutting myself off. And when I looked at it, that's about 20% per day. Now, if you just took Monday through Friday, that's 100% that I am pushing off every single week. That's an extra day a week of productivity, all centered around because I feel and I want to say I deserve. Not that I'm incapable, not that I can't get it done, that I don't even have the time in the day to get it done. And I started asking myself, where would I be? How much further would we be if I had an extra day? Like, we talk about this all the time. How many times have you said in your life, I know I've said it, man, I wish I had more time. How could we get an extra day in a week? How can I get an extra hour in the day? And I'm sitting there looking at myself and realizing, crap, I'm sabotaging my own ability to get that extra day a week. What would the world look like? My world look like if, and let's say I took 4 weeks off a year. I had 48 extra days, an entire month and a half extra every single year. How much more how much more would I have gotten done? How many more people would I have been able to help? How many more lives would I have affected? And so my theme for this year for myself is finish. 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 Now, I don't know if you do New Year's resolutions. I don't know if you do themes of the year. I don't know if you do anything, but I'm asking, what if you did? What if you did come up with a theme for the year? What would your theme for this year be? What is that thing that if you focused on would change so much in your present reality that next year, this time, it wouldn't even look the same? What is that theme? Last year for me was 10x. 10x. And I took myself and I took my leadership team, and at the beginning of the year, I said, we're going to 10x this year. We're going to 10x. Each one of us is going to 10x. They looked at me like I was crazy because they like, how is that even possible? How could you even say that? Then we had our leadership retreat in November, and we got together and we mapped out and we looked at all of the growth for the year, and we were like, oh crap, we more than 10x'd ourselves. We more than 10x'd our ability. We more than 10x. You see, this is the beauty of having that theme and being focused on it. You get to the end of the year and realize, oh wow, I did it. And life is so much different now. So maybe it's not a theme. Maybe you have some other way of doing it, but what is it that you're focused on that's going to change everything for you?